And this is something you know well. I mean, you prosecute these cases, or you research these cases on a regular basis with with massive payouts. You know, this is
and you know, the funniest thing is, Brian, you know, for years I used to be one of the cool kids. I was on Bloomberg and CNBC, and you can go back and look, and I was the one that broke the story for CNBC on the EpiPen pricing scandal, which, as you know, led to massive corporate shakeups, destruction of companies, destruction of careers, all sorts of things. And back then, when it was Dave Martin fighting for moms that needed EpiPens for their kids if they got stung by bees out on the soccer field, I was a hero for doing exactly what I'm doing right now. Back when it was anthrax, Chuck Schumer's office loved my contribution to the biological warfare investigations that I did in 2001, 2002, 2003. I was so popular that I was sent in 2004 as a biological weapons observer to some of the most disgusting and criminal conferences around the world to be an observer for the United States government. I was that cool. It's the bow tie. It always got me in, right? And whether it was Slovenia, whether it was Tehran, I was there at the U.S. government's request to find out what other people were doing, what they were up to. Why? Because I'm good at doing what I do. In the early 2000s, my company, MCAM, was a sole source contractor for the United States Treasury to go after white collar crime. And we took down a number of very, very, very large criminal conspiracies in tax fraud. And it turns out that I was celebrated at the time. We have congressional investigations. I was hauled before panels in Congress to talk about these complex things. All I'm doing is the same thing I've always done. The difference is singular. The media, collectively, controlled by the pharmaceutical companies and their lobbying arm, pharma, have a financial interest in making sure that what I say is not heard. And the bummer is that now 2 billion people around the world have heard me. And that sucks. If you've paid millions and millions and millions of dollars to try to silence me, it really sucks to find out it didn't work. And the bummer for them is, what are you going to do? Put the genie back in the bottle? Everybody knows that they're the criminals. Everybody knows it. The challenge now is, so what are we going to do about it? Which is the reason why, for example, when you ran for mayor of London, and when other people get actively involved, you have the ability to start having conversations that are the right conversations to have. Because if we don't have them, they'll keep running this racket again.
3 years ago, we spoke after Plandemic 2 premiered. And again, basically all of this information is in that movie, you know?
Yep.
It's right there in black and white. And, you know, for me, it was so hard to watch the whole world take 2 or 3 years. And then, like you said, front page of the Wall Street Journal, and it comes out with this now confirmed evidence that this probably came from a lab in Wuhan. And I'm just like, where have you all been? Like, and again, you spelled this out for a movie that was made in August for something that basically had happened 3 months earlier, and you had had all the data about it.
Yeah.
And spelling it out, again, you know, Mickey made that movie brilliantly because there was no opinion in there. There was actually very little emotion in there. It was just you giving them the facts, much like you just gave to us. You were less emotional back then, I would say, a little bit.
Well, I think what's important for people to understand is that there is, and it's a fair point, there is a need right now for people to realize that the bigger problem we have today than we had then. Then it was just dispassionate facts. The biggest problem we have right now is the complacency of people who think that this is over. Right? You're not wearing masks. You're not, you know, having to show a vaccine passport, whatever. And so they're pretty sure that we came through the storm. And my frustration is they haven't listened. Because the storm was not COVID-19. It was not SARS-CoV-2. The storm was a public sector writ large that is a criminal racketeering organization that will stop at nothing, including the murdering of its own citizens, to advance a profit agenda as stated by the criminal conspirators themselves. And I am very upset that, to your point, nothing about what I've said has changed. That's the nature of facts. They don't. By the way, it's also the nature of science. I can quote a 1965 article and say that was the science in 1965. Now, does it advance? Yes. Are our insights changing over time? Absolutely. But it doesn't rewrite itself, right? We can't make masks good for you one day and bad for you another day and then good for you the next day. That's not how the world works. That's how criminal mind control operations work. It's not how the world really works. You brought up an interesting point. The fact of the matter is, we all know in the capital markets that if you bet long enough, if you're a large corporation and you know you can influence the directions of what politicians are going to do and you know what they're going to approve, you can have a secular long bet and hold your breath for a while because you know inevitably you're going to win. Why? Because you not only stacked the deck, you built the table inside the casino you built, inside the state that you legalized gambling in. The reason why you know you're going to win is you're the house. You're going to win. And that's just the nature of this particular animal. And in this case, the pharma lobby knew that just a matter of time, buy off, intimidate, blackmail enough politicians, you'll get enough of them so that when you have somebody like, I don't know, Rand Paul saying he's going to do an investigation into Anthony Fauci, Rand Paul can do an investigation, call him before Congress, have him multiply lie to Congress. And Rand Paul never, in any of his cross-examinations of Fauci, ever has placed the October 2014 letter in front of Anthony Fauci saying, your organization, Mr. Fauci, in October 2014 authorized the gain-of-function research to keep going at the UNC Chapel Hill as evidenced by the letter from NIAID. And you just swore under oath to Congress that you never funded gain-of-function research. How on earth do you explain the letter from your organization that says Ralph Barrick's coronavirus research was subject to the gain-of-function moratorium? How do you explain the letter? And you know why Rand Paul won't actually do that? And why no prosecutor and why no elected official, including Ron Johnson, including all of the alleged investigators who are allegedly investigating coronavirus, the reason why they will not put the evidence in front of the camera so the public can see it is simple. Fundraising. That's it. Because if the American people saw the letter I'm referring to and listened to Anthony Fauci's testimony, we've never funded gain-of-function research, where it is quite literally his letter on his letterhead saying gain-of-function research on coronavirus, which gave rise to that convenient 2016, the Wuhan virus is ready to hit the public, we would have a different conversation. But we're not having it because the House wins.
And that's fundraising for Rand's next campaign, which is paid for by the pharmaceutical industry. So this is a mock trial. Again, something you're very familiar with for the last 2 decades, where you would investigate things, they would put people on trial, and nothing ever happened. So it's a big show.
And there's not a shred of justice that the public should expect, because justice is not the objective. The theatrics are the objective, and I can assure you that Rand Paul has used his fight with Fauci as a great fundraising technique. But guess what? Investors will respond if they see profit at the end of the process. It's not just about coronavirus. It's about Rand Paul raising money for his next campaign.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. I'm looking for partners, collaborators, colleagues who want to join forces with me around the globe and create real value, generational wealth, and financial freedom for everyone else around the world. Get involved in the cryptocurrency markets, get involved in the NFT markets. This is your moment. Life all comes down to a few moments. Don't let this pass. Now it's not too late. Next year's going to be too late. Ultimately, this is about freedom. That's the way I see it. This is about giving power back to the people and enabling billions of people worldwide to use the financial markets to improve their lives and those of their friends and their families and their communities. Honestly, I think it's a violation of human rights not to allow people basic access to financial services. Because right now people are being kept in the dark, they're being robbed of education, and it's a travesty. And so I'm looking for people that want to join me and be a part of this solution. And that all happens inside the DeFi Academy. The gains my students are making are absolutely amazing. Double, triple-digit gains in the first month alone. That's amazing. This will change your life. Now is the time to get involved. I'm going to tell you exactly how my students in my academy made money in the last 30 days. I'm talking about real trading results. And let me just whet your appetite a little bit. Let me hit you with some numbers. I'm talking Brendan from New Zealand is up 68.77% on the month. Steve from Europe up 83%. Albert in Singapore up 169.9% on one single trade. I got Susan up 153% on her call options alone, also rocking 139% returns and 442% returns as well on individual trades. These are people that are changing their financial future in the last 30 days, but it's based on trading discipline. I've graduated over 500 students from inside my academy from over 54 countries around the world. It's amazing. When it comes to crypto, DeFi, and blockchain, we love this space. We truly believe it's the future. This is down to our core. It's authentic to what we're doing, and everybody can tell through the camera because you can't make this stuff up. If you're watching me now, wherever you are, I implore you, take 60 seconds right now and join my academy. Apply today. Now you've got a chance. Life all comes down to a few moments. What are you going to do? What's the choice that you're going to make?